Episode 54 of Multiplaying is brought to you by that lump in your balls. You should really get that checked out.
Everybody online, looking good.
A companion podcast to the collaborative blog and gaming community that's playing as life allows. This is Multiplaying.
Well, let's start the insanity.
We have clearance, Clarence. Roger. What's our vector, Victor?
Hello?
Great heavens! What kind of radio show is this?
And welcome to Multiplaying. Tonight on the show we got Jason.
Hello.
John.
Hey.
And me, Steve. Let's see. What are you drinking tonight, Jason?
I have water right now.
Bam! John, what are you...
Take that! Ugh.
Bam! Water. Dang. I've got a Pinot Noir.
Damn. And I am rocking the Tahitian Treat.
What the hell is that?
What's the matter with all of us?
I don't know. Where is this podcast gone?
Wait, hang on. What's a Tahitian treat?
Tahitian Treat is a carbonated. It's basically a carbonated Hawaiian punch.
Yeah, so if you never seen
no
it
alcohol?
before?
No,
It's a pop.
It's like
Soda.
It's a pop. It's a soda.
Never heard of it.
Really?
They don't have that at the, don't you have like a Piggly Wiggly down by you?
That doesn't exist.
No, that's a real thing.
They have Publix down there.
Publix.
Yeah.
Isn't that what they're called? Or are they Publix?
I think I went to one when I was down there. Pretty weird.
If you go to like any hotel, just walk into a hotel and see if they got a vending machine. They probably have them in there.
It's right next to the Diet Shasta Orange.
Yes.
And the Royal Crown Cola.
What have we been playing last week? John, since you weren't here last week, what have you been playing?
I've been playing, of course, the Rift Beta events, which we can talk about, as I think we have before. And a lot of Need for Speed Hot Pursuit multiplayer.
Let's talk about some Rift.
Okay.
Let's get into it.
I've been rifting too.
Well, what do you think, Jason?
Because they didn't let me in on the last beta.
I don't let cool people in.
I know.
You know, if you reserve it and then cancel your, if you reserve it, you could even cancel your reserve, but still be in the betas.
Yeah, I'm gonna reserve it, but I have. Yeah.
Multiplaying podcast causes illness to hear. That's like what our users, like our listeners, that's what they do while they're listening. They just get sick. She's hearing it live. So. That's what happens.
This is doomed.
Do we need to call the guys who took care of ET to come quarantine your house?
Put her in a box.
Get those big long tubes going out of your house.
Elliot. Where the hell were we? Oh,
Rift.
Yeah, I'm on a budget now, so I only buy like one game a month, and that's my next month's purchase. So
yeah, mine too.
So that's why I haven't pre-ordered yet.
So
Jason, what did you think so far? What you played? What is your impressions of it?
I think the class system is pretty incredible. The combinations that you can make, and I've from what I've done and from what I've heard, I think it's absolutely crazy that you could make a mage tank or a healing tank or all these different combinations. It's pretty incredible, and the system's so flexible that you don't have to re-roll over and over to try out the different things. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's what has me the most excited. And their big tagline is polished at launch. The beta really, really is super polished, and definitely seems like a game that has been iterated upon over time.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm enjoying that part.
I'm really wondering how they're going to balance. I know there's always a question with this of the balance anyways, but I'm not even saying balance in PvE combat or balancing out a group. How is someone in a group going to say are the four main archetypes that are there between the tank and the healer and then everything that you can do within those? If someone's in a group as a tank, how is someone else in the group going to say, hey, you're not playing this right because there's so many different ways that you can play it. It's a point of concern, but also a point of awesomeness because there's going to be so many different ways that you can attack a situation.
It's going to be like the Wild West.
It's yeah.
I'm excited for that.
She's coughing about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's hacking it.
We're so sorry you have to listen to this. I'm excited for that. I think almost I know you're not concerned about the balance, because I definitely think that a lot of people have been saying they're concerned about PvP balance. I almost think the sheer variety of what they're offering you will balance itself, kind of. There's always going to be a counter to things, no matter what crazy ass build you do. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I'm sure that there's going to be, after the game comes out, I'm sure there's going to be cookie cutter builds where people will start referring to it as a term or a label. But I don't know. I'm interested to see how that's going to happen, how that's going to play out, and that's one of the big draw for me to the game.
Yeah, I definitely agree that just such variety that you have in the classes, and just say like you're playing a Chloromancer is one of the healing mages. It works pretty much like a shaman from Warhammer, except a bit more streamlined in the mechanic, I guess you could say.
It's a little bit more reactive based on what you do.
Yeah, instead of having to switch back and forth, you heal based on the damage that you're doing. And you have to keep your debuffs up and stuff like that. But based on the damage that you do, your entire team gets healed, or your entire group, which is really nice. But even based from that, you can pick from any other of the 7 souls to say, I'm going to be a healer and damage, or I'm going to be a healer and a debuffer, or I'm going to be a healer and crowd control, or whatever. Like, and that same main soul could turn into so many different things based on what you pick for your secondaries. And it's just, or you could be a healer as a secondary, be the backup healer, But the fact that a mage class can be the main healer of a group and do decent damage at the same time is just...
Yeah, and you still feel like a mage.
Yeah, you still feel like a mage, but you're the main healer, Yeah,
it was the limited amount of time that I had played in it. The one class... The one build that I had done, and I think I only got to like level 10 or whatever it was, but it was enough to show me that, like, even with as little as I had played, I had made something that to me in an MMO was very unique. I had never played that type of character before, and it was pretty much a mix between a lot of the classes that I enjoyed in other games, and it fucking worked. And it was like, oh my god, this is fun, and I have no clue if this is going to work out in groups or anything, because I didn't do any grouping during my time there. It was like, I have no idea if this is going to work out later, but who cares? I was having a shit ton of fun with it.
But then the cool thing is, let's say you have that spec. Well, actually, what was that spec that you had?
And I cannot remember what the second soul was called, but it was primarily I wanted to be a Reaver. That was like when
so you did
read about Reaver, a long time. I was like, yay, Reaver.
Riftblade.
Yes, I think it was that, and then
you said something about Void Knight on the forums.
Or maybe it was Void Knight. Whatever. The second one, I cannot remember what it was, but the third one was whatever was the pet class.
Oh, Beastmaster.
It was Reaver, something else, and then Beastmaster.
Mark Singer?
Yes, Mark Singer. I had a couple ferrets, but anyways, it was like, but before I had got the Beastmaster part, I was kind of feeling it because it just felt like I was a tank that could do some like life drain abilities, and it wasn't anything major. But then I had the Beastmaster as my third soul that I added, and then all of a sudden I got this damage output to go with my tank ability, like tanking feel, and it was like, oh my god, this is so much fun.
Yeah, the pet adds a lot to to a warrior, no less. You're a warrior.
Right. Exactly.
You're a warrior, and then you get a pet. You're just like, oh my gosh, it's like secondary tank option, extra DPS. But let's say you picked that, and you're like, wow, I have no idea if this is going to work for groups. But that's okay, because from your trainer you can buy roles, and roles are essentially on the fly respecs that you preset yourself. So you buy the role. And you could call it like role number 1 and role number 2, or you could call it like solo, and then you have another role called like grouping, maybe another role called PvP. And when you click on it, it's only out of combat, by the way. When you click on it, it switches your souls and the respective points that you have previously set up inside that role at your trainer. So you could be like running around, you're the Beastmaster badass self or whatever, and then you're like, oh, I found a group. Cool. Let me switch roles to my Paladin Reaver main tank role, and that way I can be the main tank instead of being solo DPS mix.
Right.
And it's just like. And as soon as the group dissipates, you're just like, all right, switch back. Takes about a second and a half, and you're back to your solo role, and you're off doing quests again.
That's pretty awesome.
It's just so easy, It's like that, and the fact that the dynamic events. I mean, I don't know if
that's
you got
something
to take part.
That's something I have not seen yet. So that's
Oh man,
It's a lot of fun.
That's really what sells the game for a lot of people, and me and Devin especially, me and Tack. We're talking about it like the class system is awesome, and the feel of it feels pretty much the same as like World of Warcraft or Warhammer or a mix of the two or any other MMOs you want to throw in there too. And but really, it's the dynamic events that really throws everything for a loop, And
how do those work out though?
Well, you remember the Warhammer PQs, of course.
Yeah.
It's the same basic concept. It is a PQ. But the difference is that the game has a mechanic that they're calling the dynamic content system, that based on the quantity and level of players in a certain area, it will spawn, an appropriate amount of rifts and invasions. So rifts will spawn randomly throughout the zone, and each rift will start to spawn elite level invasions, not evasions, invasions that start trying to take over the zone or a specific city or whatever. But like, so you can picture like, you're questing, you're like about, you're running through, maybe it's like the three of us will be running through like, all right, we're going to go kill this dude and kill 10 things or whatever. And then all of a sudden, literally a rift will spawn. Maybe
the rift just spawned in your room.
I know, it just did.
You better run.
I know.
The pestilence rift.
So maybe like 100 feet ahead of us, we'll just see all of a sudden a rift start to spawn. We'll see this like this white like tear in reality, and we can either go up to it and lure it out ourselves, or if we just happen to see a rift in the distance, we can jump in the PQ and start taking it out. Because if people don't take it out, it will spawn the invasions, and the invasion will start taking over the towns and cities of the zone.
Okay, I was about to say, that was going to be my next question. Is like, what happens like if these if the towns and stuff get taken over? What happens? Do they just stay taken over until a force comes in and wipes it out, or?
Yes, but only after a certain fashion. Like, for example, there was a couple of events where like I'm questing, and all of a sudden the screen shakes, the sky turns jet black, and probably like anywhere between 30 and 40 rifts spawn across the entire zone, and invasions start popping out of everywhere. I mean, this was meant as a zone-wide event, because it was peak hours and everything. So at some point, basically they have this buff that their health decreases over time as long as they're not in combat, the enemy invasions. So that's how they kind of balance the fact that, okay, if the event triggers and people don't respond, after maybe 15 minutes or something, it'll be low enough for someone to take on with a group instead of a raid,
Gotcha.
And also, besides that, it will also spawn, based on how difficult it's going on, and if nothing's getting fixed, it'll also spawn friendly invasions to rally against the, fire invasions and death invasions and whatnot. It's not going to be like as big of a scale, but they do run around and help you.
That's pretty cool.
They'll take the aggro, and then you could jump in and peel them off, and you can try to heal the friendly guardian NPC invasions and keep them alive as a result of they're tanking it for you or whatnot. And it's just as a whole thing, because these invasions are not necessarily timed. They're just if people happen to be on, and generally there's a pretty standard peak hours, but even then it won't happen every night necessarily. So
Right.
but the fact that and then there's even objectives, like with a zone-wide event, it'll be like the entire zone has to gather 200 shards of shade shards or something to push back the invasion. And if you don't do that, it'll continue to push and push and push all the way to the capital city, or at least what we think is the capital city right now. Jason and I were talking about that earlier. And
Has that not been revealed yet or something?
well, the thing is that what they have right now as the hub, the main hub, it could be the capital city, but we don't know because we don't know all of the content in the game yet.
Right.
Because they've only been releasing it piece by piece.
Yeah.
So, and they haven't said it's the capital city, but they haven't said it wasn't.
Gotcha.
You know what
So
I
have
mean?
you guys gotten to participate in any PvP?
Oh, heck yeah. Jason has, I think, quite a lot. So go ahead,
How do you
Jason.
like that, Jason?
I did quite a few of the war fronts, which are basically scenarios, and I did a lot with Brian Grok as well. They felt very similar to the war ones, where the one that I did was I think it's similar to Morkane's Temple. I think it's the one where you grab the artifact and
It
you have
burns
to
away
hold
at
it
you.
and you get points. Yeah, and it ends up killing you slowly over time, or you take damage ticks that increase over time. I had a lot of fun with it, and I remember talking to Brian. He had a lot of fun with them too. And I think the main difference, because I was telling John earlier, in war I did scenarios some, but they weren't my favorite part of the game. I definitely enjoyed these a little bit more than the scenarios in war, just because of the variety of the classes that
That's cool.
you didn't know when you saw a rogue or cleric exactly what it was, and I really like that. I really like that part of, okay, if I'm a cleric spec'd a certain way and someone runs up to me expecting me to be something different, I like that element of surprise.
Right.
Was a big part of it.
Yeah, because there's melee DPS clerics and specific. Well, yeah, seriously, it's you'd be able to
like a friar type.
Yeah, you'd be like a
DMC.
friar, exactly. And you can, if like the shaman is the DPS spec. So if you go shaman, you're not going to really have any heals in that soul. You're going to have damage buffs, damage shields, and stuff like that. And if you take other souls to complement that different ways. But let's say you see a cleric maybe throwing out some heals. And you just got that glimpse of him, so you're a rogue, and you go after him. You're like, all right, let's do this. And he turns around with his big old two-handed hammer and starts using like crazy melee DPS styles. You're gonna be like, crap. Like I thought this guy was a healer. It turns out he's a melee DPS, just pretending to be a healer. Son of a, that's happened to me before. I was on.
But that's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was on my rogue, and I would go to backstab a cleric. He turns around and stuns me, and I was like, what? I was like, no.
Man, that sounds really great.
And
Yeah, so I had a lot of fun with that.
yeah, same thing with the rogue or a mage, and it's like there was a couple times where I was like, oh, rogue, let me go get that guy, and then he had a tank soul, so I wasn't actually able to burn him down before someone else could react. And and the tank soul in the rogue has a teleport, like a 15-meter teleport, so he can kind of evade you, and he has like armor buffs and stuff like that. So, and I will say, by the way, that the tank soul, which is called the Rift Stalker, has been able to, by level 20, be the main tank of a group in dungeons. A rogue.
Wow.
All right. Not only
Yes.
that, the bard is a rogue soul as well, and that's a healing soul as a rogue.
Yeah, so
That
it's
sounds
batshit
great.
insane. That's what I'm enjoying about the game so far.
Yeah.
It's nice to see that it's just a unique twist on, because there's nothing outside of that, nothing super revolutionary, but I really like that twist into what seems like a polished game already.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Every time they expand a new zone, I go through the zone thinking, God dang, I can't find anything wrong with this place. Like I do submit feedback and I do submit bug reports if I ever find any, like if nodes are like floating in the air, I'll just put the /lock location and say, okay, this is a misplaced node or whatever.
Okay, I will say, again, I had a very short stint in the beta 3, so in the time that I had played it, I felt like it was pretty linear. Does it open up more than what it did in like the first 10 levels?
Yeah,
As far as like does the world feel like very sprawling and big? Because I didn't really get that. I've heard people say that, yeah, it just feels like a big open world, but I didn't feel that when I was first playing it.
Once you get the first 5 or 6 levels are basically a streamlined experience until you get to an event that leads you to a bigger world.
Okay, now I think I had just done that and quit.
And once you get to that bigger world, you have a lot of places that you can go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't sure.
There were quests that were dropping off. I wasn't finishing because I was having other options to do. So it definitely opened up a lot more.
Yeah,
Okay,
it definitely does.
I was worried that I was going to start seeing more story stuff and of the world, and I kind of was like, okay, I didn't want to get too into it and ruin the new. I'm anymore in MMOs. I'm really trying to get the new player experience as much as I can, but I'm also trying to make sure I'm going to like the game. And I felt like I was getting close to, okay, I'm going to know way too much by launch day, and I just want to stop. So
Yeah.
Yeah, the other thing, the important thing to note is that a lot of people have been having confusion about the way they're talking about the souls, and you can have, out of the 8 souls under each main calling, you can acquire all 8 throughout your travels.
Okay.
Yes. So you only really need to ever roll 4 characters
Wow.
if you want.
Yeah,
Well, if you unless you want to do
For
each
one,
side.
yeah, one each. Well, yeah, on each side.
but
yeah.
even then, you can roll them on each side, and you then have a total of 8 characters for the entire content of the game.
Wow, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, so like in the previous beta, the one that just passed, the epic quest to gain the additional souls were just placeholders. Like, not even, you just talked to the guy twice and he gave you the soul.
Okay.
The beta that just passed, it's like talk to the guy, do a rift, kill a mob, talk to him again. And they said that they're going to be developing the epicness of those soul quests more, but they just want you to get the idea that you can acquire them. It's not going to be impossible, but it's going to be it's definitely going to be an adventure for each one, and it's going to be just very slightly different for each one, but definitely doable. So like, you start with, by level 5 now, by level 5 you get all 3 souls that you can have between your thing, and then by the time you hit level anywhere between 13 to 20, you're starting to acquire the other ones of your choice, because you can go and talk to, like, if you didn't acquire the Pyromancer yet, you can go and talk to the Pyromancer soul guy and be like, hey, do you have anything you want me to do to teach me shit? And, he'll tell you to do this epic thing or whatever. Cool. But yeah, it's nice. And then that's how you'd have the multiple roles going around.
Nice. I know I'm personally looking at, with the time that I'd spent in it, the Defiant side seemed to be what that's what I played, and it seemed different enough that's what I wanted to continue playing. And from what I had read on the Guardian side, or I think that's what it's called, right? Guardian? Hello? Yeah,
it's Guardian. It's Guardian.
Okay.
And Guardians and Defiance.
Okay, there wasn't anything on the Guardian side that was like tempting me to go play it. So I mean, is that what you guys are going to be playing?
We're going to be at least I am going to be playing on Defiant side.
Yeah, me too.
I played both sides up to level 20. And even though I like Defiant better, the Guardians definitely have a compelling story.
Okay.
It's not lacking at all.
That's good.
It's definitely based on the personal preference of your either moral basis or aesthetic or whatever. I will say that I feel like the Defiants have better racial abilities for PvP, but how much difference is that really going to make? It's like the racial.
Well, if that's something that's major, like it turns out to be a real issue, that's something that can be changed.
And that's easily changed. It's just the racial ability. It's not like some crazy in-depth tree ability that they have to change and then everyone's going to whine about it and whatever. Right. It's just, but even still, the racials are only slightly different. It's just they do almost the same thing, but it's like the application of them is slightly different and better in a way for PvP, where it's all about burst instead of sustained.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's the same effect, but for Defiance it's burst, and for Guardians it's like sustained, like defense or whatever. So,
all right,
it works. It works for the theme too. But anyway,
well, cool. Rift sounds awesome, and the more I hear about it, the more excited I am. So, but what else have you been playing?
Need for Speed.
Oh, that's the new one.
Yeah. I've been playing that. I've been playing that. That's a good one. I like that. But Need for Speed Multiplayer, really addicted. The Hot Pursuit. Whew.
Yeah, and I finally actually started playing that as well, and that is amazing. I mentioned last week on the show that I figured once I'd started playing the multiplayer, I would probably give up, because I'd heard good things about the multiplayer, and I figured once I started, I'd give up the single player. But I was totally right. It's basically the exact same thing as a single player, minus a couple features that I didn't really care about anyways.
Yeah, time
And
trials.
yeah, the time trials, I could care less about it. I tried to avoid them as much as possible on the single player as it was, but yeah, the multiplayer is the exact same thing, but with real people, and it is so much fun.
It gets really intense too because you come up against certain people that are just really good, and you can tell that.
Do we need to airdrop some antibiotics?
I think we might. Whew. You come up against certain people that that are definitely better, but that might be one person in an entire lobby or an entire game, and it might not make it completely unbalanced. You know what I mean? But overall, it's very, very, very fun. And just in case you guys didn't know, there's a Reddit social network kind of thing for the Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. But then again, it's only for the PC version. So
right, yeah. If you're on the PC version, do you go to reddit.com to find it?
Yeah, you go to reddit.com and it would be under /r/Hot Pursuit. And there's just a whole list of people that you can just post a random thing and say this is my Steam name or this is my Need for Speed name and add me. So right now I probably have like anywhere between 12 and 15 friends on Need for Speed right now that through the auto log system it shows you what everyone's times are on each event, or it'll show you when they're online, and every time I log on at least one or two of them are like, oh hey, you want to play? And I'm like, okay, like let's do it. And it's very, very fun.
That's definitely the whole autolog feature, and the playing with friends who are online is a huge feature in that game. So having that ability to pick up some friends, even if it's people that you really don't know, is definitely beneficial for the game.
But actually, the friends that I've been picking up through Need for Speed have surprisingly similar taste in other games. Like we're not going to talk about it probably tonight, but the Monday Night Combat. I've been playing that. We'll talk about that next week. Talk about it next week. But yeah, I mean, a lot of those guys that play Need for Speed Hot Pursuit are playing Monday Night Combat, and it's like that friend list. That friend list transfers from game to game. It's pretty cool.
Awesome. Well, cool. That about all you've been playing?
No, but that's enough for this week.
Well, yeah. Jason?
Yes.
What have you been playing?
A lot of holdovers that we've talked about previously, but new game wise, after you talked about Viva Pinata some, I went and picked up Trouble in Paradise for the 360, and Shannon and I have both been playing some of that. Shannon way more than me. She's getting pretty addicted to that game, but that game's a lot of fun.
It is. It's like a kid's game, but it's awesome.
The one thing I think though, when you say it's a kid's game, some of the scariest fucking character models ever in those games.
Yeah.
There's this one with a mailbox head. I don't know if you've seen that one.
The woman that runs the post office.
Yes.
Yes, that's freaky.
Freaking frightening.
Yeah.
Frightening.
It's bizarre.
But that game's fun. Your kids don't actually play that game, do they?
No, my daughter likes watching me play.
Because that game's tough.
Yeah, it's not easy. There's actually like a simplified control that you can use, I guess. And I have not tried it. I don't know exactly how it works, but it's even just like moving around. It's not the easiest. It's an easy control system, but it's not like, how should I put it? It's like the whole concept of like what you need to be doing and what like all the steps that it takes to do certain things in the games. I can't see my daughter being able to do that for a couple years. Yeah.
Well, in Trouble in Paradise, I don't know if it's in the original. I think it's new to Trouble in Paradise. There's that mode that takes all the work away, where you just make a garden and stuff comes and you don't have to worry about.
Now, you can hire people to do that in the first one.
You can do that in this one too, but it's a completely separate game mode that you can't.
Okay.
You have to start a different game, and it removes all the upkeep and everything.
See, and I can see that they probably had added that because that's not in the first one as far as I know.
Yeah, I think it's new to this one.
I can see that they would have added that on the complaint that, hey, this is a great game, but it's really not for the age group that you were probably trying to get.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, it's for us, I guess that's good. It's very very deep, and it's a lot of fun. It keeps. Dean was saying in Twitter, or he might have said it last week. I can't remember, but they dangle that carrot right in front of you to kind of keep you going, and a lot of fun, and looks great.
Oh God, it does. It'll look great, and I mean, it's been 4 years since it came out, and it looks great, and it'll look great in another 4 years probably.
Yeah, great art style to age well. So I'm gonna keep playing that. Other than that, I've been playing VVVV or however you say it. Yeah. Very interesting game. It
looks intense.
It is tough. It keeps track of how many times you've died, and I think after finishing level 1, I had died about 80 sometimes.
Holy crap!
But it's a lot like Super Meat Boy.
It's hard.
Where it kicks you right back at your checkpoint. Checkpoints are everywhere, and it's instantaneous reload right back to where you were.
Yeah, there's no like load screen. It just goes bleak. There you are.
So you don't get too upset. But very very cool game.
Yeah. Now you can reverse the gravity and.
Yep, reverse the gravity, and you have to. A lot of times you have to think kind of sideways to try to figure out exactly what you need to do. I think for the price, I got it on. I think it's $5 normally. I got it on the Steam sale for $2.50.
Oh, okay.
And,
yeah,
definitely worth it. I have a lot of fun with it. You play it, John?
Yeah, I don't. I played it when it was just only a Flash game on like Newgrounds or whatever site I saw it on. But I had got it as part of one of the bundle packs. I forget which one. So technically it was $1 because they get 5 for 5. Mm-hmm. But I don't remember when exactly I bought it. But yeah, that game is intense.
Yeah, a lot of fun. Great music in that game.
Yes.
Yeah, the music is fantastic. But the one thing I wish it actually does, it works pretty well with the keyboard. I kind of wish it had controller support. But it works okay with the keyboard.
That'd be nice. Not that I have a controller.
Yeah.
You don't have a controller?
Not for my computer.
You play Need for Speed on there, though?
Yeah, with the keyboard.
You do?
Yeah.
He's hardcore computer PC player.
I just can't see playing that game without one.
I don't have a wheel or a controller, so what else? What other option do I have? I just have to learn how to play with the keyboard and keyboard. I just find it hilarious with the amount of games that you buy that you don't go buy like a $30 Microsoft controller. Because I can do it with the keyboard just fine. The thing is though, check it out though. Every time I try to play games on the controller, take Gran Turismo or Blur or any of those things, for example, I do worse with a controller. And I know that it's really just because I don't have much practice with it. Mm-hmm. But then I don't want to suck like all the time, so I don't have the heart to practice it either. You know what I mean?
She's saying you choke.
Yeah, I do.
I think the last time I played a driving game on a keyboard was Road and Track presents like a Need for or Test Drive or whatever.
Test Drive Unlimited or something.
Yeah. Oh, my old Tandy.
Nice. All right. Well, for me, I've pretty much just been playing, the Need for Speed Hot Pursuit multiplayer, like we talked about already. Other than that, one game I did forget to mention last week that I have been playing is DJ Hero 2. Woo-hoo. And I had it for Christmas, and I didn't even take it out of the wrapper for weeks because I had got the Xbox and been playing Assassin's Creed and all the downloaded stuff. And but man, I finally got around to playing DJ Hero 2 last week at some point, and it is phenomenal. I loved the first DJ Hero like a lot. Big proponent for that game, but this one is just like more icing on the cake. It's so good. The way that they kind of like let you free up a lot of the sections of the song, a lot of the freestyle sections of the song that they open up really give you a sense of I'm actually controlling this thing and actually creating a little bit. It's not like grandiose on any scale, but it really gives you more control. And with all the music games that were out there, they seemed to be getting to the point where they were just very gamey, and I started seeing like I don't know, not seeing a reason to even be playing them with an instrument, but the stuff that they had added into DJ Hero 2 really just gave you that control that I have always wanted in a music game, and it's fantastic.
That game just dropped in price too.
I know, and it's so sad. It's great that people can go out and get it for cheap if they want it, but it sucks because it just means that the game's not selling well.
Yeah, I do want to get that game after hearing you and some other people talk about it. And
yeah, same here.
That price drop, I'll probably actually go get it. But
right,
kind of seemed that way. Kind of seemed that way with DJ Hero 1, where it actually didn't sell too well, but they made a second one. So hopefully, I don't know, hopefully they make it up either through DLC or whatever.
And that's the thing. That's the thing that sucks about it with the DLC is that I haven't bought any of the DLC for the first one, but the songs for it were like $3 a pop.
Yeah,
they were like a buck or $2 more expensive than like Guitar Hero or Rock Band songs, because there's 2 songs in there that had a lot more work done to them in the mix process. So there was just so much more added into a song that you had to end up paying for that it just became harder to say, okay, I want to buy this song.
Yeah, it's less of an impulse thing.
Yeah, it's not, it's $1, whatever. But it's like when you're talking $3 or more dollars for a song, it's like it's hard to swallow that.
Yeah, that sucks.
But yeah, I hope they continue it. I don't know if they will. I don't know honestly how big the game is in Europe. I can imagine it would probably be a lot bigger over there than it is here because
they got sprockets.
That's right. Yeah. In the States, it's more of the song selection on there is a little bit more of a niche than it is in Europe. So I don't know. Hopefully they do a third one and even maybe free up the freestyle stuff some more. That would be awesome. But we'll see. I'll just enjoy the hell out of this for now.
Need to get Gene Simmons for DJ Hero 3.
Yeah.
Just like Warriors of Rock or whatever it was.
With Gene Simmons.
Yeah.
Have him bust some fat beats.
Yeah, he's got a panty room.
That's right.
Yeah, you could talk. You could mix about his panty room.
All great DJs have panty rooms.
Panty rooms.
Well, on the show today, we are going to go over what are we looking forward to in 2011. Last episode, we kind of went over what we've been playing over that huge break. And this week, since we have a potentially big year of games ahead of us, we kind of wanted to go over some of the highlights of what we are looking forward to. So with Jason, I'm going to start with you. What's some of the highlights of games that you're looking forward to?
First off, I'm trying to think timeline-wise. I definitely want to check out Killzone 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Even though I don't have a PS3 right now, I really am interested in that game.
That comes out like next month, supposedly.
Yeah.
Yeah. They just on Joystick, I think today it's done. It's gold.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm also really curious to see how the move support works with it.
That's what I'm interested in too. I really want to. Because the second one I really, really liked the multiplayer, but the controls were such a pain in the butt that I'm interested in seeing what move will do with that stuff.
Cool. So, John, what's something that you're looking forward to?
Well, definitely Little Big Planet 2. Even though I wasn't really big into the first one, I'm really excited with what they're looking at doing with the second one, especially as well with the move controller support and everything like that, and just the sheer amount. Jesus. Just the sheer amount of boogers.
Flying on that woman's nose. We need to do a fundraiser to get her better.
Please send all of your loose change from your couch to John. Just send it to Florida, care of John.
Because we'll be in the
Just
middle of a
right,
sentence, and all of a sudden you're like, oh man.
Our thoughts and prayers are with you.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I don't know. Just with all the move support and stuff like that, just the things that they're planning on doing, and the fact that they're putting in a lot more creative power in the second one, and
Right.
being able to do anything from the adventure games to RTSs to
Racing.
just racing and just everything. I mean, it's going to be insane, and I'm excited. I'm not really good at creating things myself, even though I'll probably still mess around with it. I'm more interested in seeing what other people create and messing around with that.
Yeah. You're a taker.
What's that?
You're a taker.
Yeah, I'm a taker.
That's how I am with
So that's
that
the thing.
game.
Like with the last game, I wanted to create stuff so bad, and I had a couple ideas of stuff that I wanted to do, but the tools that were there were great, but so it felt like I was trying to draw with one of those big fake crayons, like one of those big fake plastic crayons that you use as piggy banks.
Yeah.
Like if that was a real crayon, it felt like I was trying to draw something with one of those. It was just so, I don't know, it was so heavy to try to work with, and it just wasn't very comfortable. And I had read a while back that they were going to do mouse and keyboard support with it for the tool set, and I don't know if that's actually still true or not. I don't know if that's actually what the move support is replacing. But regardless, if the move support is used for that, and it makes it a lot easier to move stuff around and lay tiles and all that stuff, I can see myself actually trying to create something, whereas before I was just put off by it. For the people that were making stuff with Little Big Planet, the first game, the stuff that works, it amazed me, and because I had tried to create stuff, I respected it that much more, because it was just, I couldn't imagine spending the time to do it. But I have the game pre-ordered. It comes out next week. I am very excited about it. I love just the single player anyways, because the sets that they had created and that were just so good.
Yeah, definitely.
But other than that, one other thing I'm looking forward to that comes out next month, and I hope that I can pick it up when it comes out, is Marvel vs. Capcom 3. I've been avoiding using my fight stick for a while. Keep thinking about going back and playing some more Street Fighter 4, but I'm really excited about Marvel vs. Capcom 3. It's the mix of characters that they have in this is just bananas. It's just so crazy.
Looks like a lot of fan service with it.
So much, and I'm very excited about it. So I hope that pans out.
Yeah, definitely.
And it should. If the same treatment was given to it that Street Fighter 4 had, then wow, it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Just hope the online actually works as well as Super Street Fighter 4. So, something else you're looking forward to, Jason?
Batman Arkham City.
Yeah.
God, I cannot wait for that game. The more and more I think about my experience with Arkham, that game was just one of the best games one of the better games in the past 5-10 years even.
Yeah.
That was a great game. And I just hope that it can translate to taking it out of the Arkham, which admittedly was kind of an open world game. Mm-hmm. I hope it can hold up in a bigger scale.
Right.
If that makes sense. I really hope that they can keep the storyline going, the narrative going, and also give you some freedom to explore in a bigger canvas. And definitely interested to see what other villains they'll have in there. Because they threw a lot of them out there in the first one, but there's some notable ones like Two-Face and Hugo Strange is going to be one from one of the trailers. I'm definitely interested in seeing that.
What's interesting about that, from that trailer that came out at the VGA Awards with Hugo Strange in it, it came out the same day that I went and I was researching to try to find out what the next villain was going to be in the next Batman movie, and that's actually who's rumored to be the next villain.
Apparently, Christopher Nolan, I think, just came out and said it wasn't going to be
not.
Hugo Strange, or it might be a hybrid of Hugo Strange and somebody.
Really?
But yeah,
Okay. Because that would be actually an interesting movie character too. So.
Because that was the big rumor when they cast Tom Hardy, one of the guys from Inception. Okay. And he seemed like a good fit for Hugo Strange. But they were saying right now it may be somebody who's a mixture of Hugo Strange. But yeah, that trailer was a great trailer because it tells one of the big things that is a Hugo Strange trait is he knows who Batman is. So in that trailer when he calls him Bruce Wayne, definitely interesting. And I really hope they have the same voice actor specifically for Batman from the same guy from the animated series. I really hope they have him to go along with it. But looking forward to that.
And Mark Hamill's reprising his role, right? Then they said that this is the last time that he's going to do it.
That's what he said.
Hope not.
Did he say that for the last one?
No.
He said it for this one.
Okay.
But he said it like a year ago when they announced this.
We'll see. Here's more money, Mark Hamill. You're going to do the Joker.
Yeah, that guy likes to eat.
Yeah.
But all right, John, what's something else you're looking forward to?
I mean, it's so hard because there's so many, but Mass Effect 3 is coming this year, so I don't know if you guys, I don't know if it comes to mind, but Mass Effect 3 is going to be here this year,
and it's not going to be an early release, so it's definitely going to be a contender for
it's definitely going to be a contender. Yep. I mean, there's that. There's.
Yeah, that doesn't even seem real yet.
I know it doesn't.
All right. As soon as that was announced, I started reading Mass Effect Ascension, which is the book that was written by Drew Karpyshyn.
Yeah. I love his writing. I love it.
I do too. And I've had this book for a while, but I've been kind of holding off reading it. It's timeline. It's right before Mass Effect 2, and so far I'm about 150 pages into it. It's really good.
Yeah, I mean, but even besides that, just because that's so far off, you got Portal 2 coming up relatively soon.
April.
And, yeah, relatively soon. And I don't know if you guys have heard this or not, and it's not really confirmed, but since Portal 2 is not really a competitive thing, it's more of a cooperative thing. Since it's on Steam and they're involving Steamworks and Steam Cloud and stuff like that, there's rumors that it's going to be cross-platform between PC and PS3 simply because everything's running through the main Steam server and Valve and everything like that, which, if it is, that'd be freaking awesome. But then again, that's rumor and speculation. So,
and that rumor may have come from the thing that Gabe Newell did, didn't he? He was at some conference and he had given a speech about how he was going to be working with Sony on some PS3 shit. But
yeah, it might as well.
Well, he came out at E3 and said that it was
E3. That's what it was.
They were all behind. Yeah, it was going to be the best. Platform version of it, and he really liked the way the Sony Online works.
Right. Yeah, well, he said that since it's going to be directly integrated into Steam through the PS3, like the automatic updates will be directly, it'll be the same time, same day, same frequency as the PC version, and it's not going to have to be ported over and whatever. It's just going to be patch it for both.
Well, that would make sense because they do that now with the Mac, and aren't a lot of those games cross-platform between those two?
Yes, they are.
Yeah,
so that's why people are saying and getting kind of excited to say that
she's excited.
Yeah, she is.
Not since Shadowrun,
right,
on the 360 and PC, or Unreal Tournament on the Dreamcast and PC.
Right. So, and there was a lot of debate I was reading also about how Shadowrun is sort of the reason that people haven't tried it since.
Okay, I played Shadowrun. Shadowrun worked great.
It did. It worked great, but they were talking about competitive numbers. And competitively, the mouse and keyboard just stomped the controllers.
But, I think they slowed down some of the PC reaction, which may have made PC players upset. But I remember playing on 360 and getting achievements for killing PC players, and I had no idea they were PC players.
Right, which is good. Like once
they hit a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, once they
I give them credit.
Yeah,
for
once they
trying.
tweaked it and stuff like that. But I remember that until they did all those things, until they slowed the reaction time of the PC, until they balanced it and gave handicaps to the console versions, in testing the PC mouse and keyboard people were just completely dominating the
True.
consoles.
But
and
I think on the PC version you could elect not to play on 360 servers.
you could.
So I
But
mean,
it was
all
almost
evens
yeah,
out,
you
though.
could, but it was almost a matter of pride to say, "Ha, consoles suck."
True.
You know,
yeah.
it's-
They don't want to lower themselves to that.
You know, and I don't know, and it's almost similar to what people were talking about with the Move versus the controller originally. With what was it, Mag, or
Yeah.
or whatever, where they were saying they were concerned about the competitive numbers, and I'm sure they tweaked it and they whatever, but you know, it's the same kind of thing where you gotta tweak it a lot and figure out what works. But the fact that they had to handicap the consoles to bring them up to the PC is just kind of like,
Yeah.
you know. So I don't know. It'll all depend. But since Portal 2 is not competitive against each other, that it'll work fine.
Right.
So
But speaking of handicap, I don't know how to segue that actually, but another.
Yeah. See, what are you gonna do with
I
that,
don't know.
man?
Another one that I am actually looking forward to, though. I have a short list here, but another one I'm looking forward to is The Sims Medieval. Comes out in March.
I was thinking about that one.
That looks really interesting. I haven't played a Sims game since 2. I know a lot of people absolutely love 3. I've just never checked it out. Medieval actually looks damn interesting. It's The Sims, but you have like a quest system, and just the whole setup of it just looks neat. I don't know. I like it. Go check that out.
Yeah, definitely.
But anything else you're looking forward to, Jay Eason?
Uncharted 3 is the other big
Damn,
one.
yeah.
Which I mean, I don't really say anything about that. I hope I have my PS3 fixed, but
Yeah.
we're
Well,
doing-
for that one and Infamous 2.
yeah, when's that coming?
I don't think it has a
It's like
date yet.
summer,
It doesn't
spring.
have a date yet.
Yeah.
It's on my list of no dates. That and BioShock Infinite.
Yeah, I saw a pretty in-depth video preview of that not too long ago. That looks pretty incredible.
Yes.
Forza 4 I'm really looking forward to as well.
Yeah.
That's this fall.
I need to get
Yeah.
3 and try it out.
I won't ever be getting Forza because I don't have a 360.
Oh.
Yeah. But it looks really good.
That's okay. I'll just watch videos.
But you know what? I know what you will get though. You'll get Dragon Age 2.
I will. I'll get Dragon Age 2, Elder Scrolls Skyrim. I mean, there's so many games. Shogun 2. I could not believe that they were making Shogun 2. I am so excited about that. I mean, so many games that Duke Nukem Forever simply because it's making it to shelves.
No.
I still don't believe it.
I'm not buying that
I
game.
still don't believe it, but I have to buy it just because it
No, you
exists
don't.
now. Yeah, I do.
Don't.
I'm definitely interested. I'm intrigued by Bulletstorm.
Bulletstorm didn't that come out already?
No, it comes out
Yeah.
February.
I want to see more of it because I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, the only thing it's basically kind of like a combination of like a Gears of War with like Unreal Tournament, where it's like you get combos and points and based on how you know, which is really cool.
Yeah, it could be like awesome.
Yeah,
Could be
yeah. Like
great,
I'm
yeah.
interested in it definitely, but I don't know. Crisis 2,
I'll-
the multiplayer looks amazing.
Yeah, that looks good. Also interested in Brink.
Yeah.
Yes.
What
Oh man,
Brink
the
with that?
fucking video, the in-game video that they showed of this last year, totally sold me. I've got to see what they do with that.
Yeah, dude. Brink is. Oh my gosh.
I like immediately went and tried to find when it was coming out, and then I found out like a week later that it was getting pushed into this year, which is fine as long as it's good when it comes out. But man, looks good. Another one that I'm looking forward to, and it's probably not going to be like a day one sell for me or anything, but from the video that I saw of like the technology that they're putting into it, LA Noire
Yeah.
looks so good.
That was an awesome video.
I had to show the video of that, and my wife doesn't give a shit about games, but I had to show her the video of that to say, look how good these faces and the facial expressions and everything look, and she was pretty like amazed at it. She thought it was pretty awesome.
You didn't have to like grab her head and get it right. Just look at it.
Look at it! And I spit on her.
Yeah.
But no, I was like telling her, I was like, well, the part of the point of that is you're supposed to look at that and see, like, try to determine whether they're lying to you or not, like a murder mystery. And she thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's almost like one I could show to some of my kids for social skills and try them to, read nonverbal behavior or something like that.
Speaking of nonverbal behavior,
ignore all that talk. Ignore all that talk about the hooker kids.
Yeah, just focus on this.
Yeah.
But one other one that I'm definitely interested in seeing is Mortal Kombat and what they do with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm kind of interested in that.
You know what I want?
I don't know.
I want that stick.
That stick looks
The
awesome.
fucking fight stick that they're giving in the.
It's got really good parts in it, too.
The collector's edition stick that they're giving with that, which I don't remember how much it was, but it's damn expensive.
It's $150, I think.
Really? Is that it?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's not that bad considering what you get with the
that
stick.
you can open it up and there's like a compartment. I think there's like a compartment for the wire or whatever, and like the game goes in it. And it's pretty awesome looking. We'll give them that. That's pretty badass. You could actually, there was a plastic encased dome for all the innards of the actual stick, so you can like prop it up. It's really good looking. Did a good job with that. Somewhat looking forward to at least Homefront.
I'm interested in Homefront. I'm not sure. I haven't seen enough about it personally.
From what like developers have actually been talking about it and what they are trying to do with it is intriguing me. I haven't, like you, I have not seen a lot of the game, but
I've got like a passive radar on it. I'm kind of like, okay,
right. Like just the whole idea of you're fighting on home turf, and it's how they want to elicit emotions from you that you are trying to defend your home country, and this is like, it's not something that gets hit on in games a lot, and at least not to the degree that they're trying to push it towards. Not
in a serious degrry. Like, they've done it in kind of things like Red Alert, where it's like, oh no, they're invading, but you already have 10 armies to fight with.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's really cool what they're trying to do with it. Kind of excited with that.
Got anything else, Jason?
Not really. It's just interesting that the one game we didn't bring up, because we probably all don't think it'll come out this year, is Old Republic.
It's actually on my list. That was going to be my last mention.
I'm hopeful that it's for this year, but I don't think we think it's coming out this year.
I mean, we talked about Rift earlier in the show. We are looking forward to that, but beyond that, it's a must buy for us that we go get the Old Republic. It's something that we've been waiting for since we heard about it. So, regardless, even if like coming up to the game, if beta testers say, "Yo, the game is trash," I'm still gonna buy the damn thing. I'm still gonna check it out and make my own judgment. But
just for story reasons, I want to play it.
It's kind of sad that BioWare has such a reputation with us, just from the games that we played, their previous games, that you could still play it as a single player game and love the story.
Hopefully.
It's just amazing that their worst game is like Jade Empire, and that's still a great game.
Jade Empire is a great game, yeah.
I know. But that's their worst one. That's my point.
Yeah, that is kind of weird. I will say, I think the one game that I don't think is going to come out this year, but I would absolutely love, is Guild Wars 2.
Yeah.
You think it's getting pushed?
I don't think
it doesn't even have a date, so.
Well, neither does Tor.
I'm just assuming It's not going to. Well, Tor, they've announced tentative dates. They've said spring and
True.
Well, right now it's
Guild Wars. They haven't said
right
anything.
now. Tor is fiscal year of 2011, which can go all the way to April of 2012.
Right.
Guild Wars 2 just doesn't have a date at all.
I don't know if, depending on how the Rift launch goes as of February. Depending on how the Rift launch goes in February,
March.
Well, March, but if you pre-order, you can
late February.
Late February. But anyways, if that launch frame goes well for them, and if the Old Republic happens to launch like in fall or right at the end of the year this year, I can see Guild Wars maybe getting released in the same type of time frame that Rift did, because if it works out well for them, because it seems like it's a really solid space to release in. Because there's not really been anything that's come out except for DC Universe Online, which is just completely other end.
Did that come out already? What?
This last week. Yeah. Yeah, but since
that's out now?
Cataclysm, since Cataclysm, and there's nothing really coming up soon beyond now. So
Yeah,
maybe early next year.
I think definitely probably first half of next year. But I would absolutely love if that game snuck out this year.
Heck yeah.
But I don't expect it.
No, neither do I.
And if I compare the two, like MMO wise, I think I'm looking forward to Guild Wars 2 more than Old Republic.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think
story wise, I'm looking forward more to Old Republic.
But as an MMO as a whole,
right.
Yes. Yeah.
I think since it's been a while since I've watched any videos of Guild Wars 2, I've kind of like gotten back to my point of, I'm pretty excited about the Old Republic because I want a Star Wars MMO. But as soon as they start pumping out any more of those like class videos for Guild Wars 2, I'm going to be on board again.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But yeah, I think that's it for me. Anybody else got any of that in?
Yeah, like
that's a lot of shit already.
There's so many games that I'm excited about. Sword of the Stars 2, and I know that not many people in our group play it, but that's going to be great.
I've got like on.
I'm interested in Rage, like kind of.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm skeptical about Rage, so I don't know. We'll see. Dynasty Warrior 17. I like that.
Torchlight 2.
Oh shit! Yes.
I am looking forward to
God.
that.
That's going to be the only one that has multiplayer, right? The first one.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Player multiplayer.
There you go. So basically, it's going to be more and more like Diablo.
Yeah. Well, and hey, maybe Diablo 3 this year.
No, it's not happening. Don't get your hopes up.
I don't think it's gonna. I said
No,
maybe.
don't even say maybe because it's not gonna.
And I'm sure I will pick up Diablo 3 at some point, but at the current juncture, I am actually more excited for Torchlight 2 than I am Diablo 3.
That's what I have to say about that.
Was that a kazoo? Because she's excited.
Yeah.
Is that a part of Bozo's marching band?
Or I don't know if you guys care or heard about much the Deus Ex Human Revolution, but I'm pretty excited about that game.
That's one that's like.
Well, did you play the other Deus Ex or Deus Ex games?
I thought I always pronounce it Deus Ex, but whatever. I had played the one, and it wasn't like anything that I loved. I know I'm like of people that played the game usually love it. It's like a big PC gamer. It's a high watermark on PC gaming, but I could never get into it.
Really?
So,
I mean, you didn't like the kind of RPG elements mixed in with the...
I think it was at the time that I played it. I was just kind of getting into PC gaming. And
so it was like kind of too much?
I think it was, it was a little bit overload for me. It wasn't like what I had been used to with PC gaming to that point. I think if maybe with this game, if it has similarities to that, if I played it now, I'd probably flip my shit over it. But I don't know. I think it was just not the right game for me at the time. So
yeah, so many hours in Deus Ex. Oh my gosh, in both games, both of them. So many good times because you could. It's sort of in a way, it's sort of like a Hitman game or or not so much Mass Effect, although it has the same kind of RPG shooter mix.
Right.
But you could do it as a hacker and not kill anyone. You could be a sniper, an assassin, a Rambo, or you can accomplish each mission however you want and unfolds the story different ways. And very, very good series.
Yeah. So I'll keep an eye out on it. I love that trailer they came out for. That was great.
Yeah, of course. It's all flashy, but
yeah.
But the game itself is just badass. Well, the previous ones.
Right. All right. I think that wraps it up, though.
And Dota 2.
Yeah, maybe Dota 2, but be good too.
And the Game of Thrones Genesis.
Okay, stop. There's too many fucking games this year. But yeah, that's it. Stay tuned next week for more talk of games and sneezing.
And whatever, and yeah. We'll see if John's wife is dead or not.
Tune in next week. Same multiplaying channel, same multiplaying time. Good night, everybody.
Well, gentlemen, no point in hanging around this dump any longer.
Wait! Where are you going? I was going to make espresso.
Show's over, folks.
You can't go!
All the plants are gonna die. Take off, eh?
Thanks for listening to Multiplaying, the companion podcast at multiplaying.net. Questions, comments, feedback, errors, etc. can be sent to multiplaying@gmail.com. We invite you to write a review on iTunes and visit our website at www.multiplaying.net.
We've made a lot of friends, shared a lot of laughs, often at the expense of others.
I think some people are going to be upset.
Let me just close this conversation by saying you are one unique individual.
Thank you and good night.